Welcome to Budgeting and Finance, better known as Aslf 601. You're looking at me on DVD or on Facebook, mainly because I originally was told that this class would begin on the 29th. So I will not be with you on the 22nd. And frankly, you don't need to come on the 22nd. The shell in Blackboard is there. You may access it. The syllabus is there, which gives you everything you need to know. What I would suggest that you do is you take a look at that textbook. It's a very, very good textbook. I'm very pleased with that. One of the most interesting things about hiring people over the last 5-6 years has been the number of people don't have any understanding of not only the theory undergirding budget and finance, but also some practical insight into the processes that make it successful or fail in making it successful. So we will be doing a lot together. You'll read the book. It's not a giant thing. There are modules. I believe we have 8. There could be more. All supported by Blackboard. And there will be PowerPoints. There will also be reading assignments, because the text really is not all that intensive. Some of the stuff you need to get into where we are as we enter the second decade of the 21st century. You have on that syllabus, and this is important, you have on the syllabus my office number, my home phone, my office extension at Morgan, and my cell phone. I didn't ever pass mind reading. So the main thing I'm interested in is if you have any kind of questions, comments, concerns, please contact me. Doesn't matter when. I'm one of these people that is not disturbed by being contacted. I had an old cliche I used when I first got into distance ed. I said, however, if you call between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., I'm not responsible for what I say. Okay, let's talk about what you're going to do. Over the 14 weeks that we have together, we will be analyzing the readings, the PowerPoints, generally trying to establish a conceptual framework of how budget and finance is working or not in the 21st century in higher education. I have a strong community college background, but I also have a university background and was fortunate in the time that I spent at the university. I was involved with grant budget development, so I at least have some sense of some of the problems. And having been at Morgan now 4 years, I'm quite well aware of the difficulties of a multi-layered bureaucracy in getting things done from a budget or finance perspective. Okay, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do, I found this to be very helpful, very, very much insight providing, if I may say it that way. I'm going to ask you to find someone where you work now, someone at Morgan, maybe someone in a business or industry or non-governmental organization that you know socially, and interview them. There's a simple format. Purdue University has a great supporting lab called OWL. You'll have it on your Blackboard. And to make a long story short, using their template, we're going to interview, mainly looking at the gap, or perhaps we hope lack thereof, between what the theory of finance says and what actually goes on. I do encourage you not to start those interviews too early. I'd like you to have a grasp, go through at least 5 or 6 weeks before you pick who you're going to interview, so you have a grasp of some of the more current theory that we're all going to be wrestling with. Okay, the biggest part of the assignment, 40% of the points, are going to be what many of us have had to do in our career. I spent a great deal of time working for Middle States. I also, as an accreditor, I also spent time working for the American Council of Accrediting for Schools of Asian Medicine. And I have evaluated I've evaluated TRIO programs, Title V programs, Title III programs, and co-op programs. And one of the things you do when you evaluate those programs is you look very closely at budget. So I want you to have that opportunity. I'm giving you a template. It's on Blackboard, or will be as soon as the shell is filled, that you can use. In fact, there are several. Just want you to look at a budget as though you were being brought in either as a part of a team to accredit or as a reader of a grant proposal that you had something to say about whether or not it would be funded, and then go ahead and evaluate it. We'll talk a good bit in class about it. I don't want it to be too much a cookie cutter process. I want you to feel comfortable to be creative. There are many ways that you can analyze budgets. There's an organization I will mention in class, the National Organization of College and University Business Officers, lovingly known as NACUBO. NACUBO has a bunch of stuff on their website that if you don't like what I've given you, you can go to the NACUBO site and you'll be well served. One of the things that I was encouraged to speak about is if for some reason you're having difficulty getting a hold of a budget that you can look at, please let me know as soon as possible, because we can get our hands on budgets from a variety of places. So that I'd rather it was something that you had a vested interest in, or you knew someone in case you had some questions that you could ask. But it can be a simulated experience in which you would take an existing budget without that contact person and still go ahead and conduct the evaluation. It's not a big deal. So I need to know that soon. Also, one of the things that I discovered, because we start so early, we also are going to find ourselves being done a bit early. If you look at the syllabus, my original idea was that our last class would be on, I believe, December the 12th is a Monday. Then we would have, I always have it goes back a long, long way to a strategy that many of my graduate professors, who were largely affiliates of the University of Chicago, did. There was always kind of a social at the end of the class where we would break bread together. We would talk about what we thought we learned in the class, and that would be the date or a couple of days thereafter when the work would be turned in. So I was thinking, have the social activity on the 12th and turn the material in on the 19th. As it stands now, it looks like the 6th. It has to be the 7th, wouldn't no, the 5th. 5 and 7 or 12 would be the time when we would have our get-together. So you've kind of used some of your little time off around Thanksgiving as a time to pull all the threads together. But I'm more than willing to let you have until the 12th to get it done. As I understand, when WebSys will let me turn grades in, it certainly won't be before the 12th. So you can take that for what it's worth. What have I missed? One of the things that I prefer to have happen is that you come to class prepared with having looked at the material so that we can engage in a dialogue. I look at us as kind of a learning team. A joke I used to play all the time with my undergraduate students was about the latter part of the first day of class. I'd say, now, I have a critical question here. I want you to ponder it. Specifically, who is going to learn the most in this course? It's a trick question. And I'd get a lot of huffing and puffing. And people, well, I'm a major. Maybe I will learn most. I've always got nothing but A's, so I work extra hard, and I'm going to be the one. I said, you're all wrong. Because there are X number of you. In this class, I'm told we will have 9. The last time I looked at Blackboard, we had 7. But 7's cool. I have 7 brilliant minds to pick on. And I bring one thing to the class that a number of you don't have, and that is extensive. Many of you have experience. 1 or 2 members of the class have very extensive experience. But in general, I have slightly more experience than you do working with budgets. And certainly my experience is more diverse. So to make a long story short, I'm going to learn the most. I have not changed my thinking on that topic since we got together here at Morgan working in these doctoral programs. Okay, the other comment I should make, and these will never run more than 10 minutes. The other comment I should make is that we're going to use as much electronic activity as we can. I don't normally use the gradebook in Blackboard in a face-to-face class because I make you a commitment. If you send me your paper, you will get feedback from me using the electronic tool that we have for assessing papers within 48 hours. And then I will also give you a hard copy the next time the class meets. So be prepared to use Blackboard and the discussion board as a way to send me things. And of course, you can always send me things from just a one-on-one in the using standard email. So it'd be a great pleasure working with you. Welcome, as I said, to 601 Budget and Finance.